Hello, students. Since we're having some technical difficulties sharing the portfolio, I am going to show you my portfolio in this video. I can see that there's a Blackboard avatar in our class now, so hopefully they'll have the issue resolved pretty quickly. Next week, we're all about portfolios for the rest of the class. 2 weeks. You have to make a post on Tuesday with at least one artifact to share with the class. So even if we can't share our actual portfolio, we can still share the artifact by attaching it to the discussion. But I want you to be ready. I want to do everything I can to help you be ready. So my portfolio starts with the rubrics. You can find these in the classroom, of course. And as you've experienced already, I really am true to my rubrics. I follow them carefully. If you look at the rubric as a checklist, you will get full credit. Okay, here's an essay example. Notice I've got any notes to you in red here. I like how this essay has images embedded inside of it. Notice how there's changes in font here. This is an immediate indication to me that something's been copied, so I'm going to go check out your references. I'm going to use Turnitin and make sure that you haven't plagiarized anything from your references. Sometimes this just happens by accident, but clean it up, make sure it looks professional. So Boundless is an organization that's attempting to be an open source textbook like Wikipedia, but for right now, it's still not an academic reference, so don't use it. This photo should have a photo credit. Okay, but otherwise, this looks like a good essay. Again, down here, you need a complete citation, just like in our discussions. And you need to use an academic reference. Raiseyourbrain.com. I have no idea what that is. All you have to do is limit your Google search to cite:/edu. Cite.edu, and that will return only pages written by professors and other academic organizations. Here we have a presentation. You could upload all of your, you could copy all of your slides as JPEG files and put them in the window of your portfolio, but you don't have to do that. So here's a presentation. Again, look, we have the problem that is this a reference or is it a photo credit? If it's a photo credit, it should say photo credit : and then just the URL. If it's a reference, it should have a complete reference: author, date, publishing organization, title of the article, and the URL that it was retrieved from. This PowerPoint is of a reasonable size, but there's not enough written on each slide, in my opinion. So it needs to be a little bit more. You can say more than one sentence about each organelle. Okay, moving right along. Labeling diagrams. Okay, so each one of these diagrams is an artifact. This student did all of their artifacts as diagrams, and there's real value in the time it takes to hand draw something and write out these captions. The one thing I don't like about this is it's kind of hard to read. I want to be able to read what you say here. So make sure you're taking a really good picture of your drawing, or take it to the library and scan it in so it is an actual copy of your drawing. But these are amazing drawings. This student got full credit. Okay, let's do presentation example. So sometimes there's something that's very important to you and you want to carry it through all of the artifacts as a common thread. So this student used smoking as an example, and in anatomy and physiology, each unit is about each body system. So this person, you know, talked about smoking for each body system. Need some kind of citation here. Again, more, thetruth.com is a very interesting website. If you're going to use a website like thetruth.com, you could write a sentence here about why you're using it, even though it is not academic. Okay. My main problem with this is the student has no transitions, but you can see it's like one slide per body system. So this is a little underdeveloped for something that is supposed to represent all 6 artifacts, because the total slides are 12 slides. That's only 2 slides per artifact. So this presentation is underdeveloped, but I like the concept. Other students have done this, but for example, I had a student who ran a dancing studio and she wrote all of her artifacts for 2 semesters in integrated science about dancing. And that class goes from chemistry, physics, biology, environmental science. She did a really nice job. She talked about all sorts of things, but they all had to do with dancing. Okay. Now, I've never offered the field excursion option, so I don't have any examples for this. But it's basically like a photo documentation. It's sort of like the diagram here, except that your diagram would be a picture of something going on in the field excursion, and then you would have captions that explain how that relates to the learning outcomes. Remember, you want to note what learning outcome you're shooting for with each artifact. Make sure that appears somewhere on each artifact. Let me know if you have additional questions. I am just waiting here to answer your questions. I want to help you. I want everyone to get full credit. And I want this to be a process of review that really drives the information deep into your mind so you have something memorable to take away with you for the rest of your life. Okay, talk to you soon.